There are three other trigonometric functions. They are not used as often as the sine, cosine, and tangent functions, but they're useful to know. Each of these functions can be expressed as the reciprocal of one of the primary trig functions we have already learned about. The ratio for the cosecant, or CSC function, is the reciprocal for the ratio of the sine function. That is, if we are looking for the cosecant of an acute angle of a right triangle for which we already know the side lengths, the cosecant is given by the length of the hypotenuse divided by the length of the opposite side. So the cosecant of alpha is equal to the hypotenuse divided by the opposite, which is equal to c over a. The ratio for the secant, or SEC function, is the reciprocal of the ratio for the cosine function. The length of the hypotenuse divided by the length of the adjacent side. So secant of A is equal to hypotenuse divided by adjacent, which is equal to C over B. The ratio for the cotangent, or COT function, is the reciprocal of the ratio for the tangent function. The length of the adjacent side divided by the length of the opposite side. Cotangent of A is equal to the adjacent divided by the opposite, which is B over A. Some books suggest the mnemonic cho-sha-cow, akin to SOHCAHTOA, to remember the reciprocal trig function ratios. I say it's easier just to remember SOHCAHTOA and which of the reciprocal functions is related to which of the main functions. An important note, where the sine and cosine have ranges from -1 to 1, the ranges of the secant and cosecant are the reciprocals of that range from -infinity to -1 and 1 to infinity. Since the range of the tangent is already all real numbers, so is the range of the cotangent. For example, a right triangle has sides with the following lengths: A equals 5, B equals 15, and C equals 15.81. Find the value of the following reciprocal trigonometric functions to the nearest 10,000th. So the cosecant of A is C over A, which is 15.81 over 5, which is 3.162. The secant of A is C over B, which is 15.81 divided by 15. I made a mistake there, I apologize, which is 1.054. The cotangent of A is B over A, which is 15 divided by 5, which is 3. We could write it as 3.000, but we don't have to. The cosecant of B is C over B, which is 1.054. The secant of B is C over A, which is 3.162. Notice these are the same as the cosecant of B is the same as the secant of A, and the secant of B is the same as the cosecant of A. And you'll see that pattern with sine and cosine as well. And the cotangent of B is A over B, which is 5 over 15, or 0.3333, or 1 over the cotangent of A. Most calculators do not have reciprocal trigonometric function buttons. You can easily Google cosecant of 30 degrees, it's 2, but we don't have that button available to us on a calculator most of the time. However, it's not hard to find the value using your calculator anyway. Remember that the reciprocal of a number is just 1 divided by that number. If we want to use our calculator to find the cosecant of 30, we can just enter 1 divided by sine of 30, making sure that we're in degree mode, and this answer comes up. If we are given the value of a secant, cosecant, or tangent and want to find the angle, since we know that each of these values is the reciprocal of one of the main trig functions, we can take its reciprocal and then take the appropriate inverse trig function. For example, if I know that the secant of some angle is 2, that means the cosine of that angle is 1 over 2. Then I just enter cosine inverse 0.5 in my calculator, or whatever format is appropriate to the calculator I'm using, and the calculator will return 60 degrees.